Hola, yo soy Almonte Leclerc. Bienvenido a este programa donde hablamos en español e inglés. En el día de hoy seguimos hablando de la situación del coronavirus en Holanda. Por ejemplo, el ministro Bruno Bruins, que ya no está trabajando en su función como ministro, pero también el ministro de Alemania, que se quitó la vida. La situación en Nueva York y los vuelos que vienen a diario a Schiphol. Esa situación que es preocupante. También tenemos el asunto en cuidados intensivos en Holanda. And now my colleague John Olsen will talk about the other topics.
Yes, hello, welcome to ANO. We're talking today about the corona crisis, what's happening with our world leaders. We will talk about why are still flights coming into Schiphol Airport, 7 flights a week. We will talk about the actual figures and we will talk about the safety regions. Welcome, enjoy the show.
Bienvenidos a todos los que están viendo este programa. Welcome to this program. Yo soy Almonte Leclerc y mi colega es John Olsen.
Thank you all for watching and thank you Mitchell for introducing. Today we were talking about some topics about what's happening in the world with the corona crisis, how it's affecting our daily life and so on. So please, Mitchell, give us an update.
Yes, John, of course. John, a lot of things are happening in this corona crisis that we have. Actually, it's a corona crisis. We can call it like that.
Yes.
In the Netherlands, because that's our situation, we had a minister, Bruno Bruins, el ministro Bruno Bruins, que colapsó, se cayó en el Parlamento, who is not working anymore as a minister in Holland. Because he was so tired and the stress levels were really high fighting this corona crisis. And I heard also that a German minister, Thomas, that he killed himself. He committed suicide.
Yes.
What can you tell me about these things that are happening now?
Well, it was a very strange situation because when he was presenting, when they were debating, Mr. Bruno Bruins in our cabinet, he collapsed just like that.
Yeah.
And then the first sign he gave us was that everything was okay. He was sitting at home. He needed some rest. He was overworked. But the next day he sent his resignation letter. So he resigned from his job. Which make you think, and a lot of people, they start thinking, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then, because we were so much focused on what is going on around the corona crisis, because we have a crisis to manage, so we left it behind us and we went on. But this weekend, we were shocked by the news from the suicide of this
German minister,
state minister of finances. His name is Thomas Schaffer, as they say in German. And from the newspaper, they say that he couldn't handle the pressure that was coming because of the economic situation. So he didn't saw any more solution how we will recover from the economic situation. So they say that he stepped out of life. We don't know exactly the details, but it says something about the pressure that is going on with people who are in that position, who needs to take decision, who know the in-depth of the figures about what is going on.
Yeah, because we can say that these ministers, they really know, and for this German minister, knew what he was talking about, what he was dealing with. Así como ustedes pueden ver, estamos hablando de la situación en Holanda con este ministro holandés que colapsó en el Parlamento de agotamiento, de estrés, por manejar la crisis que tenemos acá en Holanda con este virus llamado COVID-19. En Alemania, un ministro también alemán se quitó la vida, se suicidó, y aquí con John Olsen estamos hablando de qué significa esto para nosotros, los ciudadanos normales, cuando un ministro de agotamiento cae en el Parlamento, renuncia a su trabajo y otro ministro en un país tan cerca, en Alemania, se quita la vida.
Yes. From the internet, I saw many messages passing by. Some of them are saying that there is more going on that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure: there's enormous psychological pressure going on, not only on the leaders but also on the people surfing at this moment, threatening or helping the people who are contagious, who are hospitalized. And some of them, you know, they come home, they're really tired, but also they need to go back. They need to go back to their working place and see people dying, and it's doing something with them. So we need to also see what will happen after the spirit with these people, because they will not stay unaffected.
Yes, yes. So the secondary effects which we are seeing now, they are very evident, because we can see that people on a high level of government are being effective psychologically. That's what we are talking about here, because of the consequences of the corona virus. And also we see a lot of doctors, a lot of medical assistants, which are talking about the pressure that they are feeling because of this corona virus. At the same time, John, we are seeing that New York has been hit very severely by the consequences of COVID-19. Yes. But still in Holland, in Schiphol, because that's our situation, we see that flights are still coming in from New York. 6 or 7 planes, as we can read in the newspapers, are coming in, and the people who are coming in from New York, they're not being treated with different measures as the rest of the people in Holland. So ¿qué pensamos de eso? De los aviones que llegan casi a diario de Nueva York a Holanda, donde sabemos que Nueva York es el lugar más afectado hasta el momento por este virus COVID-19. So what can we say about this situation?
What we see is at this moment America is being hit very hard. New York at this moment has counted 70,000 people infected. And still, every week, 7 flights are coming into Schiphol Airport, to our country. And normally you would say you need directly to lock down these flights, like they did when it happened to Italy. But still, these people, they can just come in without having any temperature check. They have no questionnaire, like where have you been, do you have symptoms? They're just being let into the country. And the only thing that they take care of, that they keep the RIVM measurements, like 1.5 meter distance, and they're not allowed, you know, when they gather with 3 or more people together, they will say you need to go everybody your own way. But in the same way, it is not very clear what is the state of this. The responsibility for this is with the government. So maybe tonight we will hear more about this.
Yes, because as we look at the figures now in Holland, we can see that 11,750 people are infected with this corona virus. But these are only the people who have been tested. There are a lot of people who are not, who have not been tested.
Yes.
And what we can see in Holland right now, 864 people have died. The last 24 hours, 93 people have died. These figures are also not the actual figures, because tomorrow we will have the actual figures of today, actually, you know.
Because every week the RIVM, they release new figures. But exactly what you're saying, these are not the real figures. Also, the doctors say that, because the only people who are counted to the corona deaths are the people who have been tested positive. So maybe more people have died, but they have not been tested. So we don't know exactly.
Así es, estimado amigo y amiga, los vuelos de Nueva York siguen llegando a Schiphol, Holanda, y llegan de un lugar que ha sido severamente abatido por el coronavirus, y estamos viendo que las cifras de los infectados en Holanda asciende a los 11.750 personas y fallecidos 864 personas. En vista de estos vuelos que siguen llegando de este lugar tan afectado y de las cifras que siguen ascendiendo, es que John Olsen y mi persona nos hacemos estas preguntas. So after that we have seen these figures, John, what else can we say about this situation in Holland?
In Holland, Well, at this moment, it's very tense because we're looking at the IC beds now. Let me see.
Oh, intensive care beds.
Intensive care beds, yes. We need at least 2,500 beds, but our capacity we have now is about 1,600 beds, from which 575 are being used for, let's say, normal treats, you know, like people with the heart disease or problems, other things. Yeah. So we only have 1,100 beds available for COVID-19 situations. Yeah. So this is a point of attention. We are not sure if we will reach probably the 2,500 beds, but what will happen after that is not sure.
Of course.
And so probably at that point we need to decide, or the people need to decide who gets treatment, who doesn't get treatment. So this is very tense.
Hard decisions have to be made. Yeah. Entonces, como podemos ver, John Olsen toca el punto de las camas en cuidados intensivos en Holanda. Se está esperando que a mediados de abril 2.500 camas en los departamentos de cuidados intensivos estarán ocupadas, y la preocupación es que en Holanda no tengamos los materiales médicos suficientes para poder contrarrestar lo que está pasando, los fallecimientos, las personas infectadas, y sobre todo para controlar los pacientes que llegan a cuidados intensivos. So, John, by saying this, the veiligheidsregio's, which are 25 in Holland, these institutions that have to, protect the people for crisis situation or for pandemic situation, it is said in newspapers that for years they have been advising the governments that we didn't have enough resources to fight against a crisis like this. So what can we say about this?
Yes, that is something I also read. Of course, our government, they make decisions and they carry a lot of responsibilities. Probably, I don't know for sure, but maybe they didn't thought of it that a crisis like this could come to this country. At this moment, we're talking about the IC beds, but you need also to think of all the personnel who are taking care. Also, they will be tired. You know, all the things like the mouth caps, and we had this news going on about the oxygen techniques. You know, that need to give help to oxygen to people. Also, those are very difficult to deliver. So there's more going on. So I don't want to bring fear, because fear is a very bad advisor, but it is very serious.
Yeah, it's a situation that we need to keep our minds clear. But as we wrap this up, we can see that leaders in the European Union, specifically in Holland, specifically in Germany, we can say that two important ministers, one of them resigned to his job.
Yes.
The other one, he lost his life. He took his life, actually. We can see that in New York, the pandemic is really expanding, and that flights are coming into Holland, and the measures that has been taken on this matter are actually zero, if we say it safely. When we look at the figures in Holland, when we talk about the IC situation, the situation in intensive cares, when we hear what the veiligheidsregio's, these institutions that protect the people in Holland, that have to protect us against pandemic situations like this, that they have been, for years advising the government to take measures. If you take all of these facts, where are we standing now in this crisis as a normal citizen? Right. Who can we trust? What do we have to do? Do we have to think for ourselves, come to our own conclusions? What do we have to do?
This is a very big question you're raising now, and it says something about who we have become as a human being. So for sure, I will add to that, it is very important to look who we are today and where we're standing, and where can we trust on.
Muy importante, como dice John Olsen, estimados, si ministros colapsan, un ministro en Alemania se quita la vida, en Nueva York la epidemia se expande, pero los vuelos siguen llegando a Holanda, no se toman las medidas suficientes. Tenemos ya 11.750 personas infectados, casi 900 personas que han fallecido por las consecuencias, cuando las instituciones que nos protegen por alguna pandemia, por alguna crisis, durante años le han avisado a nuestros gobiernos que se tomen medidas y no tenemos todavía las medidas suficientes tomadas. Usted que me ve, tú amigo que me ves, ¿a qué conclusiones tenemos que llegar tú y yo en esta situación? Muchas gracias a todos por acompañarnos. Yo soy Almonte Leclerc y mi colega es John Olsen.